Welcome to Quiz Dose. Never have I ever gotten stuck in the snow, worn 2 pairs of socks, or slipped on ice in public. If you've done any of these, this winter quiz is going to expose you. Grab a cozy drink, keep track of your points, and let's find out just how winter crazy you really are. Ready? Fingers up. Never have I ever. Winter edition starts now. Never have I ever gotten stuck in the snow while traveling. Never have I ever worn 2 pairs of socks because it was so cold. Never have I ever gone outside just to see how cold it really was. Never have I ever had my hair freeze in the winter. Never have I ever had my car windows completely frozen over. Never have I ever slipped on ice in public. Never have I ever worn mittens instead of gloves. Never have I ever made a snow fort or igloo. Never have I ever written my name in the snow. Never have I ever tried a winter-themed hot drink at a cafe. Never have I ever worn earmuffs outside. Never have I ever had a snow day off from school or work. Never have I ever shoveled snow from a driveway or sidewalk. Never have I ever had my phone battery die faster because of the cold. Never have I ever worn thermal underwear in winter. Never have I ever watched my breath make clouds in the cold air. Never have I ever used hand warmers in my gloves or pockets. Never have I ever tried a winter-flavored dessert like peppermint or ginger. Never have I ever taken a super hot shower just to warm up. Never have I ever gone to bed wearing a hoodie because it was so cold. Never have I ever worn a beanie or wool hat all day indoors. Never have I ever walked across a frozen puddle to see if it would crack. Never have I ever woken up and seen frost on the windows. Never have I ever had my lips get chapped from the cold. Never have I ever tried a seasonal winter drink like eggnog. Never have I ever stepped into snow that was deeper than my boots. Never have I ever gone to a cabin in the winter. Never have I ever spent winter in a place with no snow at all. Never have I ever spent a whole day in pajamas because it was too cold to go out. Never have I ever watched a blizzard warning on the news. Never have I ever driven on icy roads. Never have I ever had school or work canceled because of extreme cold. Never have I ever tried a winter spice scented candle. Never have I ever worn fuzzy slippers all winter. Never have I ever hung up winter-themed decorations in my room. Never have I ever stayed up late listening to the wind during a winter night. Never have I ever kept my coat on inside someone else's house. Never have I ever used extra blankets instead of turning up the heat. Never have I ever had to scrape ice off a car windshield. Never have I ever watched my pet react to cold weather for the first time. Never have I ever worn a scarf over my mouth and nose. Never have I ever put my clothes on the heater before wearing them. Never have I ever walked outside in winter without a jacket. Never have I ever opened the window just to feel the cold air. Never have I ever fallen asleep under a super heavy blanket. Never have I ever taken a winter selfie outside just for the aesthetic. Never have I ever changed my phone wallpaper to something winter themed. Never have I ever tried winter themed nail art or makeup. Never have I ever taken a late night walk in the cold. Never have I ever worn a matching winter hat and scarf set. Never have I ever drunk something ice cold in the middle of winter. Never have I ever stayed inside and played board games on a winter day. Never have I ever taken a nap with the heater on full blast. Never have I ever wrapped myself in a blanket like a burrito. Never have I ever binge-watched a show because it was too cold to go out. Never have I ever gone window shopping in winter just to get out of the house. Never have I ever worn gloves that didn't match. Never have I ever tried to warm my hands by breathing on them. Never have I ever walked outside and immediately regretted not wearing more layers. Never have I ever listened to calming winter ambient sounds to relax. Never have I ever done a winter-themed photo shoot indoors. Never have I ever had a cold nose but warm hands. Never have I ever bought new winter clothes just for the season. Never have I ever worn a huge puffy jacket. Never have I ever stayed under the covers scrolling on my phone on a cold morning. Never have I ever opened the door and felt an instant blast of freezing air. Never have I ever fallen asleep watching the weather forecast. Never have I ever made a winter playlist to listen to on cold days. Never have I ever walked around a store just to warm up. Never have I ever complained about the cold and then complained when it got warmer. Never have I ever worn socks to bed because my feet were freezing. Never have I ever dried wet clothes near a heater or radiator. Never have I ever taken a long bus or train ride in winter. Never have I ever left a window slightly open and made the room freezing. Never have I ever smelled cold winter air and instantly felt nostalgic. Never have I ever watched my footprints appear in fresh frost. Never have I ever checked the weather app multiple times before going out. Never have I ever worn a coat that was bigger than I am. Never have I ever woken up and wished it was already spring. Never have I ever felt my fingers go numb from the cold. Time's up. That was our Never Have I Ever Winter Edition. So how many did you relate to? Are you a true winter lover, or do you just suffer through the cold? Tell me in the comments how many fingers you put down and which one was the most relatable. If you enjoyed this winter quiz, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Quiz Dose, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next fun challenge. Want more season-themed games? Check out the other quizzes on the channel after this one. Thanks for playing, stay cozy, and I'll see you in the next quiz.